So, we're down to number 7. Do not degrade your competition. Don't talk about your competition. Why? Seen it happen. You don't know if that competitor is in the room and calls you on something that you said about your business or service that they challenged. And then you've got the worst thing in the world you ever want to do is have a confrontation with an audience member. You can't win. So don't talk about your strengths, not their weaknesses, period. It's just, there's no discussion about that. That's pretty much what it is. Humor. Horror show or home run. In the old days, guys could tell jokes and refer to their spouses as my old lady, the little woman, what?
The ball and chain.
The ball, all that stuff. Okay? Today, that's taboo. Don't. And here's my rule of thumb. If you have to run a joke by someone, if I go to Catherine and say, Catherine, let me tell you this joke. What do you think? Do you think it'll be okay? The mere fact that I have to run it by someone else says that there's doubt to it. Don't use it. Don't. You can't get in trouble for what you don't say. That's very difficult words coming from me, who used to get thrown out of class for speaking too much in 5th grade. Okay, I admit it, but the fact is, don't say it if you have any doubt about it. If you want to introduce humor into it, make it topical, but make you the brunt of the joke. Okay? You cannot ever pick an audience member out and say something about them. Because everybody else in the office will, everybody else in the audience will think, am I next? And they will clam up and they won't learn. And you don't want them to not learn. You want them to learn. Horror show or home run. I will tell you this for a fact. In Springfield, Massachusetts, the Chamber of Commerce out there had 500 people in a building as a kickoff, the same as in Worcester today, with a kickoff to a business expo in Springfield. And a male speaker got up on stage and made reference to maybe a body part. Okay? And it was so bad that the person who was in charge of that event went up on stage after the speaker was done, made that person come up and apologize. Okay, it's probably 10, 12 years ago. It happened at the Coliseum in West Springfield back before the Mass Mutual Center was even built. So keep in mind that what kind of business was that speaker going to get from that? Zero. They were going to avoid that person. PowerPoint tips. Keep in mind one thing, ladies and gentlemen.
You.
Yeah, I thought somebody would catch me on gentlemen. You are the star, not the PowerPoint. Now, Christine Whipple and I were at the same event this morning. I didn't see the whole event, but I saw a PowerPoint go up, and the first thing I said was, because PowerPoints should be determined based on the size of the font and typeface, and all these studies that say you never have a black background with white letters because the eye can't see right, etc. PowerPoints can do more to distract you than talk about what you're doing. And when I saw those charts go up with whatever, I said, well, the only people that can see that are right in the front row. So, I mean, I don't know if it enhanced the person's presentation or not, but when I saw that, I said, we're in for a long morning. And, that's that. Again, I'm not talking about what the person said or how they said it, but when I saw the PowerPoint go up, I said, watch out. Besides, the technical nature of PowerPoint presentations today is still not perfected. And I see more of them have glitches than go through from start to finish without a problem. So that's one thing you don't want to do is to, and while you're speaking, you never want to speak from the darkness and have the PowerPoint over there. Have some type of light on you because your passion or excitement and enthusiasm overrides the PowerPoint every time. Tell family stories. Why? It humanizes you. How many of us have teenage daughters? How many of us have had teenage daughters? How many of us, that type of thing. How many of us, what am I doing, ladies? We're all in this together. Okay, and then when you tell this, I mean, everybody's got a teenage daughter story about the kid not being where they said they were going to be, or, you know, the Mountain Dew. All of a sudden she starts drinking Mountain Dew, but it doesn't smell like Mountain Dew. You got the phone call from the hospital saying, come get your daughter, she's had a couple too many, blah, 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 blah. Anybody outside of me? Those are nice ones. Those are nice ones. Those are great. Especially when the doctor says she's going to be fine. Now go take pictures of her. Which I did. I went over to the CVS across from UMass and got one of those disposable cameras before the digitals. And I still hold those over her head right now. And she's 29. So we can all relate to that. Tell family stories. Use different tones of voice depending upon the message that you're trying to get across. Use different tones of voice. If it's really exciting, you want to talk about it like that, but if it's a real sad situation, you want to talk softer and you want to talk slow. Just like at home, when you want to get a point across to that teenage daughter, so you use different tones of voice. Same thing with audiences. Provide examples. Adults do not want to be preached at. One of the things that I learned from giving presentations based upon the content in that particular book, you don't have to be perfectly great, which is available at Amazon.com and all great bookstores, is that every time I gave a lesson, I gave an example. And people said, you know what, I can appreciate the example more than I can appreciate the teaching. Adults are a little bit different. Here's one that people destroy themselves with. Never go just a few more minutes. No visible time checks. No visible time check. I have something here that tells me where I'm at. Okay, sometimes I'll bring an actual clock. This tells me how much time I'm into it. And many times I'll have somebody in the audience be in the back of the room, somebody, the sponsor, and say, give me a 10-minute mark, give me a 5-minute mark, and give me a wrap-up. Okay, but you all can't see it. Because as soon as I go like this, where's your mind? Okay, I will tell you, before you leave here, take a cookie. Okay, that's what I'm thinking right now. Okay, the cookies. Be polite to everyone. You don't know who they are. And there are people, and when you speak enough, there'll always be somebody that comments on every point that you made. And they'll say, well, in our place, it's different than that. You know, they want to tell you their story. Nobody wants to hear it. Okay, and say to them, you know, that's great. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. We'll talk, you know, whoever it is, you know, it's an issue that just has to do with you. We'll never say to them, quiet, shut up. Don't. Just don't. Be polite to everyone, and ladies. Probably the number one most important point that you want to remember when you speak is end on time, which I have just done. Now, what I would like you to do is, if you become